Welcome to Life Her Podcast, the podcast that guides you from the 9 to 5 grind to the freedom of your own path. Discover how to conquer life's challenges while pursuing your passions with unwavering faith. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. So let's get to it.
Hey everyone, I am Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her Podcast. I have an amazing guest here and I got some words for her, but y'all gonna be hearing it in a minute. But I just want to let you know she is amazing. She was raised in Virginia. Keely is a middle school history teacher and she has some dope books out. And I want you guys to really just engage into this interview and learn so much from her because she is very amazing. Hey Keely, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, girl?
I'm good.
I am
I'm
too. We here on this good Thursday.
I know, right? A day from Friday, huh?
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for it. It's almost here. Almost.
Yes. So first and foremost, can you tell us a little bit about your journey from being a middle school educator to published author?
Yes. So, being a published author was never in my cards. Yeah, I never wanted or really aspired to do that. It just kind of happened. So I've always been into school or whatever the case may be. Always have been. I took gifted classes, but then I was one of those girls. I stay out the hood. So my friends was out the hood doing what they do. But then when I went to school, I had those kids in those gifted classes. When I got to college, I had stopped reading urban fiction for a while. And I was just reading, history books, college books. You know the books they give you, though they
Yes.
all the college stuff. Then COVID happened, and I got back into reading. Got back into just reading a good book. I saw that Wahida had dropped the 7. So after I read that, I just was like, well, what if we start giving these other characters story? Like, you know how Power, they got all those branched off
Yes.
seasons and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, what if we do this with a book? Why not? So I had asked her in her comment section on Instagram, because we the generation that's gonna hop in a DM or we gonna message people. We got a lot of access to a lot of people nowadays. So I hopped in her message, not her messages, in her comic section and was like, what about if Omar gets a story? And she was just like, Omar, what? Like, that'd be amazing. So she didn't really say yes or no, but I just took it upon myself. That Capricorn in me just took it upon myself to just do it. So I did it, and then I bugged her for like a year in her inbox. It took her like a year to answer my request, and that's kind of how we got here. I feel like as women, we always have more than one personality. I have the
Yes.
teacher me, and then I have what's going on in these urban fiction books me. So I feel like we all have all these personalities.
Wow. So you've mentioned being a fan of urban literature since you were a young age. What
Mhm.
initially drew you to this genre?
Because, okay, so my first urban fiction book I read was called Drama Queen by LaJill Hunt. And I just couldn't even believe what was being said in those books. Like, that stuff I hear my mama talk about, what was
Right.
going on in that book, the dialogue, the language, it just spoke to me. Even if I was reading these, gifted books that they recommend us to read, this book was, that's me in my home life. That's talking to me. These other ones are good for diversity, yes, but that's me right there. That book is talking about. So that's what drew me to it. It was just the relatability of it.
Mm.
Finally
Mm.
seeing like your real life being portrayed in something. I feel like we don't have that for us. Like our
Yeah,
real life, our real issues we go through. I feel like a lot of books don't capture that, but the urban genre.
that's true. That is so true. So how did Wahida Clark's Thugs and the Woman Who Loved Them influence you both as a reader and a writer?
As a reader, I felt like I never read about 4 girls going to school and doing what they got to do. Like I said, that's me right there. 4 girls from the hood. No matter what walks they took, 4 girls from the hood still deciding we're gonna go to school. We're not gonna let what we got going on where we live at define us. we're gonna still get out here and do what we got to do. So that's what drew me to her series, because once again, it was speaking to me. That's what drew me in as a reader. As a writer, I finally felt like, because I didn't write this until I was like 26, I believe. I'm 28 now. I was like 25, 26 when I wrote it. I felt like I finally had the mental space now to give a story. Feel like I had my own grown up life experiences, my own modern experiences, mixed with what we go through in the classroom. What I see a lot of these urban kids. I teach at a predominantly Black school, so a lot of these issues, and I just was like, why not put our modern issues of today with this urban fiction genre? Why not do it?
You know, it's so crazy. Like what you saying is, you know how people, you know, they have they mixed feelings with Tyler Perry and his movies and how he plays Black women and things of that nature. A lot of times it's relatable to some people and it's not relatable to some of us. How would you be able to like continue to write books to try to be relatable to different individuals, so the comfortability, or you just gonna like just stay in your lane and not worry about the words and comments that other people think about your book?
I feel like in this genre, or not even this genre, in this career field, I'll say, in this field, you gotta write what you know. You know what I mean? You have to write what you know. You can't try to write for other people. You got to write for you and write what you know. And that's all I'm doing. I'm writing based on my experiences, because I want you to feel me when you're reading them pages. I want you to feel like, oh yeah, she done saw something, or she done experience something, or she knows. I want that to be real. I feel like I can only do that. I don't know if that's my lane or if it's a comfortability factor, but I feel like we all should just be writing what we know. Write what you know, and then it'll bleed through on them pages and people will be able to see that.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that, because I don't think sometimes people understand you always have to stay in the lane that you're in. And sometimes if it don't fit for you, it don't fit. But this fit for me. And
Right.
I'm glad that you have that mindset now, because girl, you gonna blow up with these books, okay?
Oh, I appreciate that. You know what's funny? And I'm like, not to pause the interview or anything, but I was doing like a little bit of research. I did a little bit of research on you, and your mom passed away 10/26/2019.
Yeah, girl.
So my son was born October 26, 2021. So I
Oh,
know that you had a tough time with that. So when
mhm.
I wrote this story, I had such a dark time after I had my son and stuff like that. And that's what pushed me to write. So I just think it's so funny how the stars align. Like, I'm like, why did I need to know that's when, she went through a tough time? I just think it's so funny
Mhm.
how the stars align like that with things. Me and you don't know each other from nothing, but we
Right.
both share some type of special date.
Girl, because God is special.
It was
He
so
pla
special.
Yes, he places people in so you know that you're going in the right direction. It's confirmation for you, it's
Yes,
motivation for you and everything. And the potential is there. Like you have it on lock already.
I
You just
appreciate
gotta
that.
keep going. Like even when like bumps coming your way and everything, you still gotta keep going, because that's exactly what I've been doing. Even though it get hard sometimes, but
Right.
you gotta keep going, girl.
You do. You got to keep pushing. You got to
Yeah.
keep pushing.
Yes, for sure. So tell me, what inspired you to write Heart of a Thug? And can you share more about the story and the characters Omar and Keisha?
Yes. So, what inspired me? Like I said, the original Thug series has always just been one for me that I feel like it just speaks to me. Four girls from the hood, but they still doing what they got to do to make it up out of there. So I felt like I am that girl. My mom still stays out there for the longest time. I actually had my own apartment out the hood, staying across the street from her. Staying across the street from my mama. It was so funny, but I was still like going to college. My first year teaching, I'm actually teaching some of the kids that live out the hood with me. It was amazing. It's such a different, unique experience. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
and then I got a sign on my board that say the hood's favorite teacher. that one of the parents gave me. But I just like, I felt like, because I read a lot of urban fiction, I
Mhm.
just felt like the tide needs to be turned for us to have more strong female characters like that. I
Yes.
felt like I haven't read one like that in a while since the third series. That's just me though. So I wanted to write one. That's why, like, when you read Omar, Keisha is somebody that does not come from the third series. She's all just created by me, but she's a strong girl. She's been through a lot, but she's showing that that trauma can be triumph, and that
Mhm.
no matter what we are being dealt with, we can come above it if we want to. We put our mind to it, and we, just like you said, keep pushing.
Yes.
So urban romance is like my favorite thing. I love a love story. I'm a sucker for just that. But I do feel like we gotta make it a little realistic and put some of them gritty elements in there, because we know these relationships ain't no walk in no park. They just not.
Girl.
It ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be some toxic stuff going on, which we love a little bit, just not too much of. We like a little bit of toxic, but so that's a little bit about the story. It's two people who had a lot of trauma happen to them, but they both in their own way triumph individually and then came together to blossom into something beautiful.
Wow. And you know what's so crazy? Me and you got so much in common because my mom lived next door to me and I went to school to be a teacher.
Oh,
I
I
got
saw.
my bachelor's degree in teaching.
Mm-hmm.
That is so crazy.
Was it early childhood? That's
Yep.
yeah, early childhood. See, I do secondary education. I cannot. I mean, I love the little kids. I cannot teach them though. I need
Yes.
you to come in a little bit knowing that you know what you're supposed to be doing a little bit in here.
Yes. And I understand so much more of you now because I also had a youth program for young girls and they, in the hood and stuff. So the way I understand why I love the first portion of the first chapter,
Oh,
because it's so relatable to the kids that we do deal with, on a
mhm.
daily basis. And I know a lot of victors.
Yes,
I know a lot of victors,
yes,
and not even just in boy form, and even when young girl form, when the mother is in a relationship with the man. So I
yes.
do appreciate you for this book and to create it so relatable to everyone. So what motivated you to like narrow down the characters like that and even just start it off? Just you
I,
ain't waste no time.
I didn't. I didn't. Because I'm a reader. You know what I mean? I am a reader, and I know what I like in books. It don't gotta
Uh-huh.
be super duper fast, but
Just
to me,
dragging.
we gotta jump in there, because I got other growth that I wanted him to. I wanted them to do. So we gotta hop in there, find that focal point of like what causes them to be that way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? A lot of students I teach, they are the way they are for a reason. I teach seventh graders. Seventh grade is a tough grade.
Yeah,
They don't
middle
know who they
school,
want to
yes.
be. A lot of
Mhm.
identity crises are going on here, but usually when you find that focal point of what they love or what they like, you can save a kid or two.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what made me jump in there. And then I have a lot of friends, and this is so sad to say, I have a lot of homegirls who got killed at the hands of domestic violence. Literally,
Mm.
like shot them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Find them
Yeah.
shot. And
Me
so
too.
I wanted to touch on that because it's happening. This is really happening, and we can't be scared to talk about this stuff. Like,
Mhm.
so that's what made me narrow it down to that. And also just the little scholar in me, in Wahida's book, it says that Omar's mom got shot in the head. That was all the
Mhm.
context I had. So I wanted to just hit on that part to make sure I'm
Right.
relating it some way back to it. That's just the
Yeah.
little scholar in me though, in the context.
I understand. So I want you to send a message out to actually really just young men that are being an Omar of the
Mhm.
family. Cause a lot of mothers may even be listening and is on the path of being Olivia, and they need to hear something inspiring or helpful if they're going through that in their home right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to write it just so detailed and like you ain't miss a beat
Thank
to
you.
make it so detailed. How could you actually help and give them a message? Because even with you being a teacher, because you that's middle school, they on their way,
They
and
on their way. Mm-hmm.
that's Omar. He 15 years old. You
Yep.
know.
One message I would give to not only just Omar, but to whatever parent is suffering from that, we got to get away. We have to figure out somehow, some way to just get away. And what I mean by that is completely move. Don't even be in that same like place that they can find you at. We can't be scared to start over. We cannot be
Mhm.
scared to start over and figure out what it is that we really need to be doing. Cause it ain't that. You know it ain't that. And we gotta start, and I hate to say this, but we gotta start choosing our kids. We got to
Yeah.
start choosing them. They telling you, if he telling you, you know, mom, why are you dealing with this? Why do we got to keep saying this? That's a cry for help right there. We got to start listening to them before it becomes too late. And
Mhm.
what I can tell to the young Omars out there is keep on fighting for your mama. Keep fighting for her. Because sometimes we need people to fight for us before we can start fighting for ourselves. And granted, he was only 15, probably couldn't feel like he could do but so much until it became a breaking point. But we gotta fight for people a little bit. We gotta fight for the ones we love.
Yes, we do. So your novel, it tackles issues like love, pain, redemption. Why was it important for you to explore these themes in an urban setting?
I feel like it's important because when because I love love. I love love, but I feel like you hit on so many more emotions when you talk about trauma that people can relate to. But then you also hit on a lot of emotions and inspiration, you know, when you realize that, oh wait, I'm maybe going through the same thing this character is going through, whether they're real or fake. I'm going through it and they overcame it. Can I do it too? You know what
Mm.
I mean? Can I sit down and get myself together and triumph as well? Can I do that? So I wanted a story like that to be out there. We get a lot of trauma stories, but what's after that trauma? Do they overcome it? They just sitting in there forever? I was ready to hear about one where we overcome it a little bit, even if it ain't.
Mhm.
Can we try to overcome it? Can we put the effort in?
Yes, that is so true. So I know writing a book isn't easy because you have to think of chapters. You have to think what you're going to name it, how you're going to do the body of it. It do so much. What are the biggest challenges you face writing and publishing your debut novel?
Girl, the writing the story wasn't the hard part. that that wasn't the hard part. It was everything else because I really didn't have a title. Like my original title was Thug Series Phase 2, a colon Omar. I like
They like, uh-uh.
yes, Wahida like, no man, we need so but stuff like that, like coming up with a synopsis, the little stuff is so hard to me because I'm an overly detailed person.
Uh-huh.
And I'm probably like that because I teach, and these kids will ask you 10 questions about the same thing that you didn't went over at least 20 times already. So I'm so overly detailed that when it come down to narrowing stuff down, like, okay, what is your title choice? What is your synopsis? It's like I think I sent Wahida at least every bit of 20 titles. I couldn't pick. I just could not do it. It's hard to do the little stuff. The small stuff is so hard to do.
Man, so how was it being focused though? Because that's time consuming. You got to
Yes.
be on point with the appointments. You got to be on point with your writings.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have everything. So how was it of you being consistent and staying motivated and not
Mm-hmm.
giving up while writing a book?
Because I really just I felt in my spirit that this is something I really wanted to do. And whenever I get like that, I'm gonna do whatever it is need to be to do it. Like my son was probably about 6 months, and I got him on me as I'm drafting up,
Aw.
drafting up things. My daughter, she's 8 now, so she probably was like 5 or 6 at the time. You know what I mean? She like, well, mommy, what you doing? And she writing her own little children's story, trying to craft that together. But when I want something, I try to focus. I've been since I turned 18 and was able to go to college, I've been in college. I went straight to my bachelor's, straight to my master's, had 2 kids. Nothing should be able to stop you. No matter what it is, you should be able to keep going. If you want it, keep going. It's gonna be some hiccups in the road, but keep going. So that's all I kept telling myself, like, keep going, keep going, keep going.
That's good. So what was it like working with Wahida Clark's publishing team, and any surprises or memorable moments?
It was amazing working with her. Hope we can continue working together. She my book mama. Like, that's what she is. She
That's
is.
so cute.
I love working with her. We send emails, we'll text. She's always there. I know she's always one call or one text away. Her and Nuance and really the whole team. I know that they're always there. She's very sweet. You could talk to her about anything in the process. It's been a dream working with her. And then publishing this book after her book came out like 2002, the first one, and it's just such a surreal feeling. I still can't believe it sometimes that this is happening, that I was chosen for this for whatever reason. I still can't believe that this is happening.
Girl, you better understand
I
God's
I
plan.
know, and I'd be just sitting back sometimes like, is this really happening? Like, one of my coworkers today, she was reading a book while she was at the elevator, and I'm just like, I can't even believe this. Like, what? Like, this book is in the school. Y'all really in the schoolhouse reading this mess? Like, I can't believe it sometimes.
Girl, that is not mess. That is art. That is art. You better walk with your head high and keep going, because I could, like, the way you did it and like straight to the point and everything. I could see you in the movie theaters, okay? A play, something. You just never know how far it's gonna go, and it's gonna be when you least expect it. Because you are an amazing writer. You are.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So now that you published your debut, what's next for you as a writer, and do you have any other projects in mind?
Yes. Omar has a part 2.
Okay.
Omar has a part 2, and I'm pretty much, because I consider this now like my child too. I consider this now, this whole phase 2 project, I consider it, mine now. So Omar has a story. It's a character named Bo, and Wahida's story, he has one. And then there was 2 other characters that were mentioned very, very briefly, and then they have stories as well. I'm very excited about their stories because they have no blueprint. So that was all of it was just giving them their own everything. So I'm very excited for them. So I plan on completing the whole phase 2 of the third series with like 5 books.
Wow, that is amazing.
Thank you.
So what impact did Wahida Clark's Thugs and a Woman Who Loved Them series have on you when you first read it at 12, and did it inspire you the right way to write?
Oh, it had a lasting impact. Clearly a lasting impact this many years later. But believe it or not, she only had one character that was like close to my age in that book. Like, I think the girl was like 13 or 14. I can't remember exactly, but she was that age. And she was the one on drugs. Now, I was never on drugs or anything, but her and her relationship was with like an older man. Like her talking about that. Talking about, a 13, 14-year-old dealing with an older man. I know it's not something that we should be proud of in our society, but it happens.
It does.
We got to talk about that stuff. We have to talk about stuff like that. But that just resonated with me so much because I was that 12 or not 12. I was probably like 13, 14 when I had my first boyfriend. He was like 16. You know what I mean? It's not like right at all, but it happened. It's not right at all, but it happens. So that one just really spoke volumes to me.
Yeah. So how has this journey released like as far as like you releasing it, how did the novel shape your vision for your future?
I don't even know yet because I know the
Oh.
possibilities of everything is just it's just endless. I'm still on a high from everything. Like I'm still on a crazy high from everything, from all the support that has been going on. So I do not know how to answer that question. I don't.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So, as far as growing up and everything, how has your family contributed as far as supporting you with your book?
Oh, they've been supporting this all the way. My nana, my grandma is so in love with the cover. She was at the book signing, sticking her tongue out at the daggone cover. That's yeah. Nana got 9 kids though, so that should tell you everything you need to know about Nana. Nana got 9 kids, so she ready.
They're ready to risk it all.
She is ready. But they have supported me immensely. It's been just an abundance. My family, my aunt and my dad, because he kind of smart a little bit. My dad is. They the ones who helped me kind of go over my contract and everything. So they've been there since day one, ready to support.
That is amazing. I'm like so proud of you. I feel like I know
Thank
you
you.
forever. I'm like, girl, I'm so proud.
Thank you.
That is amazing. So, do you have anything coming up?
No, other than grades due soon, but nothing with the book coming up. I do, like I said, I do have a discussion, I believe, coming up in the next couple of weeks with Wahida.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have anything else coming up as of yet.
Okay. So, what advice do you have for other individuals that are inspiring writers and haven't really stepped out on faith yet and still held back? What advice do you have for them to actually just go ahead and go for it?
Write the story you want to tell. Get everything you want done. Write the story you want to tell. Write the story you want to read. Write that, and don't even worry about the other stuff that could come with it, like who's going to publish it. Don't even worry about that yet. Write because that's what you want to do for right now. Write because you want to write. Do that. Get it all down, and then eventually you're going to find your readers. Everybody
Mm,
may not like, your book or what you got out, but it's a book out there for everybody.
sure is.
And it may be yours, you know what I mean? But I think that's the biggest thing is write because you want to write. Don't just do it because you just feel like, oh, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this today. Write because that's what you want to do. Take your time with it, create your characters, create your story how you want it to be told, and they're gonna be able to see you on them pages.
Hmm. So, what message do you have for your younger 12-year-old self when you started reading?
I wish my mom was here because she always was saying I was grown. She always was saying that like I was grown and had no business reading them books. They were her books. They were hers. But I would say to my younger 12-year-old self is just keep pushing. Keep pushing and keep doing whatever it is that you're doing because it's going to pay off eventually.
Hmm. I know that's right. So, can you let my guests know how to purchase your book and where to continue to follow you and keep
Mhm.
up with all your future books that you have coming up soon?
Yes. So you can purchase the book at Amazon. Just go into Amazon and search up Heart of a Thug by Keely. And you should see that fine man on the cover. And he should you're gonna see that fine man up there and he should pop up. Or you can go to W. Clark Publishing. I believe that's the website. Wahida, if you can you type the website in there? I believe it's wclarkpublishing.com. That's her website. And you can search under new releases. And then you should be able to find the fine man.
Okay.
Yeah, so wclarkpublishing.com. So yes, that was correct. And then you can follow me on Facebook at Keely Minaj. Yes, I love Nicki Minaj. So that is my Facebook name. So these teachers won't find me. Yeah, so they won't find me. That is my Facebook name, so they will not find me. And you can follow me on Instagram at Killa KILLAAH _Keely. Keely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Keely. I really
You're
enjoyed this
welcome.
interview. I enjoyed your energy. I enjoyed the first chapter. I'm about to get the rest of it.
I hope you like it. I hope you love it.
Oh, I will. I really appreciate you for being on my podcast.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Life Her Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe on YouTube and also listen on audio on all major platforms. And have a blessed evening.
Welcome to Life Her Podcast, the podcast that guides you from the 9-to-5 grind to the freedom of your own path. Discover how to conquer life's challenges while pursuing your passions with unwavering faith. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. So let's get to it.